Hello, one all. It's my view of My Hero Academia, chapter 329, In the Nick of Time, Big Time Maverick from the West. Oh, I love that title. I freaking love that title. I freaking love design. Miss Star and Stripe on the title page. Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. And while this might be a bit controversial, I can say with almost 100% certainty that she is going to lose her fight against Shigaraki, and will probably lose her quirk as well. Like I said, definitely controversial. When I said in line, I got a bunch of flack, bunch of pushback. People basically saying, oh, it'd be such bad writing to introduce such a powerful character just to have her be fodder for Shigaraki. And while it wouldn't be particularly great writing, what would be far, far worse would be to introduce a character we've never even heard of before, who's apparently on the same level as Endeavor, maybe even close to All Might in his prime, and just have her solve all her problems. I mean, seriously, if she wins this fight, if she actually manages to beat Shigaraki or forces Shigaraki to flee, even if he isn't in his fully finished form, then she'll get to America, be able to, deal with all the escaped convicts, League of Villains, the Nomu, all that, and then we'll see other foreign heroes come in one by one. They'll eventually save the day. They'll eventually basically do everything without really needing to rely on Deku, his classmates, or the heroes we've known for dozens and dozens of chapters. And that would just feel like such bad writing, like such a Deus Ex Machina, and I just really, really would not like that. What I think is far more likely is that, she's going to fight Shigaraki, and it will be an absolutely freaking amazing fight, a spectacular fight. I mean, seriously, she's standing on the back of a freaking fighter jet, while Shigaraki is fighting on the back of a freaking Nomu. This is going to be an absolutely amazing fight, but it's a fight she has to lose. And when she does, it will send a signal to the entire rest of the world. Skeptic might even, broadcast the fight to the entire world, showing them this is what happens when you send your heroes to Japan. This is what happens when you try to interfere. Do it again and we will kill your heroes and basically just destroy your country as well. And as soon as she goes down, all the villain groups in America that All For One has a connection to will basically go crazy. They'll launch everything they have against the government. They'll try to overthrow America and basically put themselves in charge, basically create anarchy and chaos. And then every other country will realize the same. They'll realize, okay, we can't make the same mistake. We can't send our heroes to Japan because we need them here because all these villain organizations are acting together as if they've been working together this entire time to try and overthrow us, try and cause chaos and anarchy and just utter destruction. And that's, the next step in All For One's big plan, to make it so no one else can send help, to make it so no one else can send backup, and basically force Japan to face him by themselves. Oh, that's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, like I said, I definitely don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Shigaraki. Even All For One said it's going to be a gamble, trying to take the quirk from her. But at the same time, I just really can't imagine, her winning this fight, her being Shigaraki, or even her just forcing Shigaraki to flee because his evolution hasn't finished yet, because then there's just too much hope. There's just too much optimism. There's too much, belief that more back will arrive. There's too much power in her being able to tip the scales in their favor, and we can't have that. That'd be too much hope, too much optimism in the end game of the series. We need depression. We need despair. We need to focus on the main cast we've already seen up to this point, rather than bringing in foreign heroes we never heard of before who will just solve all their problems. Anyway, though, back to this chapter, we get to see All For One sitting on his brand new throne, surrounded by Nomu as he hides in some cave somewhere, which is all part of his big plan to win somehow, some way. I do love Spinner basically saying, we didn't actually need to stay in Japan. We could have left. We could have fled. We could have gone to some other country where we can, basically wouldn't be found at all. Then we could definitely guarantee that, the heroes wouldn't find us. But no, you wanted to stay in Japan for some reason, for your big, nefarious, lifetime plans of doing something you still haven't explained to us. Seriously, dude, what is your freaking plan here? I mean, even obtaining One For All is just a mid-game goal for him. So I'm guessing his, final plan is basically more or less world domination. Once he's managed to, kill Star and Stripe, America will be run by villains. He'll be able to, finish the evolution. Shigaraki will become the symbol of destruction. They'll take over Japan, and then he'll just move from country to country, working with the organizations already established to basically overthrow all of their governments until the entire world more or less bows down to him and worships him as the true emperor of the world, the true demon lord of the world. Huzzah! And there was also definitely a lot of focus put on Spinner this chapter, which I found interesting. I mean, he is, the least impressive member of League of Villains by a long shot, by a very, very long shot. But he's, managed to stick around for this long, and according to All For One, he'll be the one that spins the tale. He'll be the one that tells the world the truth about Shigaraki, the truth about how the world treated him, about how, the world needs to change. He is the voice of the people. Huzzah! Which, interesting, very, very interesting role for him to take. I mean, it makes sense. He is a heteromorph, he is a mutant type quirk user, so he has the experience being discriminated against, and he'll be able to, share that with people, along with Toga's story about how she was discriminated against because her quirk made her weird. And together they'll be able to tell the world, convince the world that things need to change, that heteromorphs and people who are different because of their quirks need to basically be accepted by society. Kinda. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, especially because I feel like Spinner's definitely been having some, serious, serious second thoughts about this whole big plan. I mean, for one thing, he's a bigger fan of Shigaraki than he is of All For One, and he wasn't all that happy All For One took over Shigaraki's body, and since it definitely seems like All For One's planning to, permanently reside in Shigaraki's body, and more or less, use him as his next host, fully transplant his consciousness into Shigaraki's own body, and take over, I feel like Spinner definitely be against that. There's also the fact that, Stain, the person who Spinner is cosplaying as right now, has kind of gone against the wishes and the ambitions of the League of Villains and was never really part of them at all. So, yeah, I feel like, we actually end up seeing a battle between Stain and Spinner, which forces Spinner to question his loyalties, forces Spinner to realize he's on the wrong side of things. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I'm honestly not sure, but it feels like he's going to have a very important role in the endgame of the series somehow, some way. Anyway, though, then we have Hawks, Endeavor, and Best Jeanist, who are all just talking about Stars and Stripes, and I'm not gonna lie, when Best Jeanist said, for quite some time now, I've wanted to chat with her about that treasured vintage denim from the Gold Rush, I honestly thought that was some sort of metaphor for something else she had, some sort of power, ability, or something, some sort of weapon she had that would, change the tide, something that Best Jeanist needs to accomplish something, because he always talks in Gene, metaphors, so I assume this is one of them, but no, I think he's actually just referring to denim here. I think he's actually just referring to American denim here. Oh my god, I love it. I freaking love it. I mean, they are literally in a war for their very survival and for the survival of the world as a whole, and he's just very excited for the chance to talk about denim with an American. Oh, that is so you. That is so you, Best Jeanist. And I'm definitely wondering if these two are going to be able to reach the fight before Shigaraki kills Star and Stripe, because it was said that Shigaraki intercepted her when she was 50 kilometers away from the landing point. So how long would it take, Endeavor to move 50 kilometers? I feel like that would be, quite a bit for him, I mean, I'm not sure what his maximum speed is, but still, I don't think that's distance he can travel in a brief amount of time, so concerning, very, very concerning. I mean, Hawks, does Hawks have any of his wings left? I think he only has, rather small wings. I don't think he can cover that distance in a brief amount of time either, so yeah, I think the best we can hope for is they get there after Shigaraki steals her quirk, but before Shigaraki kills her, they're able to basically, save her from being murdered and then bring her back to UA, where she has to, face All Might after having lost her quirk. Oh, that'd be sad. That'd be so utterly, utterly sad. And now that I think about it, we might actually see a world in the epilogue of the series where America was more or less overthrown by the villains because, they might lose Star and Stripe, their number one hero, which would be a huge, huge loss to their morale and a huge boost to the morale of the villains. The villains might, stand up and, basically just all attack everyone all at once and actually be able to successfully overthrow their government before everything's settled in Japan. That might actually end up being a sequel slash spin-off slash one-shot of this series where Deku and his classmates actually have to, travel to America to help stop all the villains that, basically took control after Miss Star and Stripe was killed slash lost her quirk. Oh, that'd be interesting. Definitely interesting. Please leave us down below. What's going to happen to Star and Stripe? Is she going to win this fight? Is she going to lose? I mean, like I said before, I think she's going to lose the battle and probably her quirk as well because, she is just too freaking OP. She changed the tide of battles too much. If she's here to, deal with the escaped convicts, the Nomu, the League of Villains, the Paranormal Liberation Army, and all the other fun stuff. And I think the focus should definitely be more on Deku and his classmates saving Japan by themselves. Oh yeah, and then also on the last page, we got Shigaraki saying, good question, what exactly am I? Because, she asked him if he was All For One, and that's not necessarily wrong. I mean, he is All For One. All For One's quirk's inside of him. All For One's quirk vestige is inside of him, and it's controlling him at least partly, so at least partly he really is All For One. At the same time, he's not. He is Shigaraki's, so I guess he's, just really not sure how to answer that question. I guess he's really just not sure what exactly is at this point anymore either. All he knows is he wants to destroy everything in his path. Huzzah! But please, let me know all down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, take the video, and until then, peace!